just going to lower the standards of the movie. Like we're not getting cinema anymore. Now we're just getting like a cheap popcorn flick, for the summer that's here today, gone tomorrow.
And Jules, yeah, I think it's important to remember. I mean, box office doesn't lie. If you look at the WB's
Right.
top grossing films ever, for the most part, all majority of them, like the Nolan films, the Byrne films, if you adjust for inflation, even the Donner film, the first one, which
Hmm.
isn't like it's not campy, but it's like it's a little bit
For
different.
the
But
time. Yeah.
yeah, for the time. But like overall, like if you look at this box office, even like the first Joker, right? Guess what? That was serious. That made a bunch of money. Even like the,
Hmm.
the studio cut of Suicide Squad, all those Wonder Woman,
Exactly.
those
Yep.
films made a lot of money, and they took the characters seriously, not a joke.
Yep. Hmm.
And you see box office results when you do goofy, campy bullshit. Gun, Suicide Squad, Bomb, Superman. You know, they can say it made a profit. Personally, for me, I don't
Barely.
think it.
It's red
I don't
line.
think.
Yeah.
I don't think movies. I don't think investors put millions and millions of dollars to make a profit off like, oh, we have this and this plane and this and that. That's not why people put money. They don't make excuse me. They don't make movies to make barely a profit. That's not how it works. That's how I know Gunn is gonna get canned because barely making a profit. Like if I'm being honest here, I don't think Gunn has made any profit for Warner Brothers so far,
I think
and
he's
that's just
lost
that.
that money.
I think even going back with the reboot announcement, I've told Sil this, right? If Gunn was serious and he knew what he was doing, why would you announce a reboot before four DCU films came out? I think that was purposely tanking those films on purpose,
Mm.
like
Yeah, we know the reason
sabotaging
for
those films.
sabotage. Yep, absolutely. We were outspoken about that on the stream.
So
Yeah, no, yeah,
yeah,
it definitely wasn't a well placed announcement at all. Yeah.
I mean those films were all still trash. But then you also even like cut up those films. Think about it, right? If you were like allegedly cared about the fans and DC and stuff, at the very least, you should have kept those cameos in because you're rebooting anyway. At least those fans can have a better send off than with the garbage we got. Like that Flash shit, the George Clooney is a joke. Like that he shouldn't have been in that film, bro. I'm sorry. Uh, you know,
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Aquaman, you had two. Explain this to me. Aquaman, you had two different Batman cameos. You got none of them. You got Orm eating a cockroach. That was a joke. Like,
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was a
I
it's
joke.
mean, we also know
ridiculous.
that Gunn gave it a lot of notes on Aquaman
Yeah.
too. Also, like I
Aquaman,
think James
Flash,
Lynn
yeah.
was the director, right? Is he couldn't be
James
he
James
Wan,
couldn't
yeah.
Wan.
James
Hmm.
Wan, yeah, he couldn't wait
Hmm.
to be over and done with that movie. As soon as it wrapped, he was on to the next project. Like he didn't
He's
even
like,
want
I'm
to work.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
how
was a
Even
mess.
remember Todd Phillips was like, "Fuck this, bro. I'm gonna like." Because I like Joker too. I actually like it better than the first one, but I know a lot of people didn't. But I remember he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna like give the biggest fuck you to Warner Brothers."
Joker 2, I still feels a lot of over hate for Joker 2.
it's just the musical aspect to it. I think that killed it.
That turned people off. Probably. I mean,
I'm
hey,
not watching a musical. I
the
really
general
wanted to
audience,
watch Joker 2, but I was like, I'm not watching no damn
Oh,
musical.
I saw early screening opening in
Mhm.
IMAX. So I was. I mean, like I said, I like. It's not like it's different, right? So it's like the music for me. I don't mind music. I just if it's like a Disney singing movie, then that's different. But I didn't feel like that's the case. So I enjoyed it for what it was. If you
Mhm.
don't think it's better than the first one, that's your opinion. Like for me, I think it is. But again, I enjoyed it. I just like that version of Joker in the
I
world.
mean, yeah, it's a film that I will watch, probably not like every month, but like it's, I like the first one better on that aspect, but it's in my rotation. Joker 2 is
And
pretty
that
Yeah.
good.
was talking about Elseworlds. That was a true Elseworlds film because it's not
Yeah.
connected to anything. So that's a real
Mhm.
Elseworlds film,
Well,
and it's
Yeah.
fine
see
if you
that.
want if you like it. If you don't like it, it doesn't matter because it's a standalone thing.
Mhm.
Just to add one more thing, Jules. 'Cause I want to let you guys go on to the next person or whatever. Is that's another thing with DC, right? I know you kind of spazzed on that person. You kind of mean about it, but overall, James Gunn says he believes in DC and Elseworlds. But like, if we're being honest here, right? That is a bold faced lie. If we're like, let's like use common sense here, right? The Batman he couldn't cancel because that made too much money, and that's
Hmm.
that wasn't gonna happen. Like no one's gonna allow that. But anything else, for if you notice, we were supposed to get the Erica. That was Sil confirmed that. I know people behind the
Mhm.
scenes that it was gonna come out. That
Yeah.
was canned. He doesn't believe in Elseworlds. Let me rephrase that again. He's the only Elseworld that he does is stupid TV shows for children that no one
Hmm.
wants to watch. I
He's
remember he
not.
greenlit
Yeah.
some. Titan show for like children. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about this. And I love Raven and Titans, bro.
To be
He's not
clear,
I'm not gonna
greenlighting
watch that
anything
shit.
that could impact his success,
right?
or anything that might impact his own universe. Like he's
That was
protecting his own.
on James Gunn. He stopped Ayer Cut coming out because it was momentum behind the scenes. The person that actually saw the cut, they were saying Ayer thought he was really about to get it out there, and James Gunn comes in and says, I'm not. I don't want to put it out right now because I want to get my world going. That's a real thing. James Gunn stopped the Ayer Cut from coming out. That's pretty much confirmed at this
And
point.
so one thing that bothered me that you kept saying was, "Oh, give him time." I'm like, bro, he's been there for 4 or 5 years, bro.
Well, that's what he
I'm not
said.
trying to hear that, bro. No, I know, but I remember you told me that one time like on a space.
Mhm.
You're like, "Oh, he'll do it, but just give him time." I'm like, bro, it's been 4 or 5 years and he's done nothing. And I say, and I made this last point to you. I'm gonna make this last point.
Mhm.
He could have released it during the Joker too because that was the only DC film coming out that year. That was like the perfect time.
For
If
sure.
you remember, there was no other DC films coming out. He doesn't care about it. Like, and again, those fans that were saying we're giving him death threats, this and that never happened, by the way. But it's just that they only care like they use Ayer like his Ayer cut. So like I remember like the whole him supporting Superman thing, right? They only
Mhm.
use that against Snyder fans as like some gotcha, where I don't know if you remember that, like Ayer allegedly got attacked and people were like pushing this agenda,
Right.
and people were like just we didn't really like his approach, but we never like shit on Ayer or think he's like a bad person or whatever.
No,
And I
Snyder
reason why I
fans
bring
didn't attack Ayer. I don't care yet what any trade tried to pick up. We didn't attack Ayer directly.
Yeah, I haven't
yeah,
seen
it
anything
just
negative from the Snyder fans towards Ayer. If
Yeah.
anything, they're all in the same boat.
It was about Gunn and just to be clear, Raven, again, that's what Ayer said directly. Give James Gunn time. So I was going off what Ayer was saying publicly. He was like, "Hey, actually, I don't know if he said publicly, but he was saying it's different accounts like the old Cut Ayer. He changed his name now on Twitter, but
yeah,
Ayer
Jesse, I
actually,
know him.
yeah, he talked to him about it in DMs, and so I was just going off what Ayer was saying, like, "Hey, give Gunn time." Just to be clear, why my
Yeah.
stance was like that is because that's what Ayer was saying.
I just think it's poetic that he's about to get canned, right, Gun, and it's 10-year anniversary. He's been there for 5 years now. Absolutely nothing. Because I remember, like, I was being told, just wait, give him time. Like, you're an hater. Like, let Guns World breathe. I gave him 5 years, bro, and he lost his job, bro. So it is what it is, bro. But again, karma's a
Yeah.
bitch. I always say that good people. I'm gonna end with this. I think good people always win. I think Ayer's a good guy,
Mhm.
and I think James Gunn is a piece of shit. And it is what it is.
It is what it is, Raven. Appreciate you coming through, man.
Thanks, Raven.
Again, we're gonna be opening up these panels probably like every other week. So you're more than welcome to jump back in sometime, man.
Yeah, and I just want to jump off what Raven mentioned about not releasing the Ayer cut. Even though James Gunn was trying to get his universe off the ground, again, if he did release the Ayer cut, that would have just riled everybody back up and started clamoring for that universe to be restored again. He was not about to risk that because that would have completely just sabotaged his universe that didn't get off the ground yet. Not saying that I'm pro it or against it, but just common sense, that was definitely not happening at that time.
Definitely. So that's where we're at with that. Final word,
Jules,
Raven?
oh, yeah, I was just gonna say, and two, if he was really, because I'm gonna use this thing. Do you remember he was like saying he had some slogan, "Honor the past, respect the future," some dumbass shit.
Oh yeah.
If you remember that, that would have like to me, you can't use that, right? But you're not even trying to build back the fan. Like to me, that would have went a long way with the fans. Like okay, like maybe I would have went to go support Superman. I probably wouldn't have either way, but that would have made me look like okay, maybe he's trying here to like bridge the gap. Because
Or he
to me,
could have.
as
Sorry,
sorry,
he could have at
no,
least like announced a future date for Ayer cut to come out, and not just dismiss it altogether. Like,
That would have been
all right,
goodwill.
once his Superman movie came out, all right, we're gonna drop Ayer cut like in over Christmas or something like that. Like that never happened. So he completely lost any trust in the fans at that point when he just completely disregarded it.
Definitely. And now we're left. Now it's another regime change coming, and it's gonna be up to the new bosses. Without
Ayer's out
minus
Paramount
Gunn.
already. So
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot going on with that. So I appreciate you again, Raven. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Thanks, Raven.
Take care.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff there. Again, those backstage, just hang tight. We're gonna get to the next topic here, but you can give your
Oh,
thoughts with
still,
anything. Yeah.
let me just address something real quick because I know Raven said what I talked about elsewhere was mean. I was not directing that rant towards that person, that individual. I was just ranting about the comment of relegating
Mm,
Snyderverse to Elseworlds in general. So it was nothing against that commentator. It was just about
yeah.
the term itself.
I think that was a fair. I mean, obviously, we all got our own opinions here, so that shouldn't hurt anyone's feelings out there. But I think that's a fair assessment, saying, "Hey, why have Zach have the all shoot thing? You know, maybe what's more successful should be the primary story. You
Yeah,
know, I
what's
think
more
it's a fair
successful
thing."
and it came first. So you have two things going for it versus there's not much going for the Gunverse. I'm sorry. I know he has a few fans out there, but it is what it is. Like the numbers don't lie.
That's just where we're at with that. And let's get to the next topic here. And of course, Restore will be sprinkled probably throughout the whole conversation today. But we had an interesting Good Friday. Jules, Zack Snyder got a little active on social media. Now, one thing, you got some people saying they're kind of watching Zack Snyder's activity on Instagram, like if he doesn't post every day, DC, they get worried. It's like, let's calm down first. Like, Zach's not going to post every single day. But when he does, it seems like, Jules, since we saw the ZSJL anniversary countdown, like Zach is doing like meaningful posts. Like it's something behind, when he chooses to post, in my opinion, right? So this was yesterday. Zack Snyder opened up it was like afternoon, it was probably like early afternoon for him. It was probably like 1-2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He just drops a Trinity picture just for no reason, Jules. He just dropped
no reason at all.
He just drops stuff on us, and this just disproves again. A lot of people was like, well, when Paramount won the bid, allegedly for Warner Brothers, then Zach stopped posting DC. Well, again, we see he's been very active, with his posts, right? So that's one thing. This is a great shot right here. And the funny thing, when he posts this, Jules, people online was like, okay, not sure the symbolism with this. We're approaching Easter weekend. We thought we'll have some kind of parallel with the whole, Christ parallel, right? And Zach didn't disappoint, right? He drops this later on yesterday evening, basically parallel. This seems like the concept sketch of the end of BVS at the death of Superman. They let him down, paralleling the famous art of Christ being let down after his death. What'd you think with this, Drew? This is just insane.
I'm getting chills just looking at it. This is beautiful artwork. And Zach has never been one to shy away from the religious symbolism. Some people hate it, but again, it's just people that love to hate just to hate. Like they can't stand that people actually believe in something. Throughout all different mediums, it's not even just Superman. Snyder has done religious themes even in his Twilight of the Gods TV show. Like that was like a big thing, right? Like it hit the media really hard once that episode came out. But Superman has been entrenched with the Jesus ideology and imagery since his inception, right? Like, I don't know if that was the main goal of the creators, but that's what it became over time. So you really can't be mad that the symbolism is still being used today. And I love that Zach just leans into it because again, it's just beautiful visuals and Larry Fong with so much amazing cinematography throughout BVS. And don't be surprised to get a Superman Resurrection post from Zach tomorrow on actual Easter Sunday.
Yeah, that's what we're, kind of the fact that Zach dropped this, on Good Friday. And then as we know, what's written during the third day, that's when, in a sense, Christ rose. That's when Superman is brought back, by this concept. Right. And so I think it's very clear what Zack Snyder's tipping off here that he's going to post something Sunday. Long story short,
absolutely, yeah. And then for people that really want to like conspiracy theorists that really want to dig into it, like this Snyderverse Resurrection at the same time. I don't think we're there yet, but I'm sure some people will try to put those pieces together.
So it's like a third layer here. Like Jules is like, we're going deep, as the homie Peely would say. Like there's layers to what Zach's doing. Yes, he's posting DC, and that's fun, memory lane. Obviously, there's some symbolism here, and then Jules is saying like, let's go just full on 4D, like the resurrection of the Snyderverse. Hey, I'm with it. I dig it. That's some good stuff here. We got Dave Miller saying Gunn is awfully quiet in the face of all the rumors of his departure. This is a good point here. Gunn has an itchy Twitter finger. Why is he so quiet? I think he'll be gone at the end of his contract, if not sooner. Jules, we've been saying this, and I know I've been taking off a lot of Gunn guzzlers. This isn't inside information that I'm saying with this James Gunn contract information. I know there's other outlets, they want to lean on what they're hearing. I'm just saying, me and you, Jules, are saying Gunn, he had a 4-year contract originally from 2022, October. It was due to end October 2026. He got an extension just for 6 months to April 2027. I think it's a wrap.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, Dave. Like, we all know Gunn has an itchy Twitter. That boy was online every day on Twitter, all day, every day, to the point people were like, bro, don't you have a script to write? Like, what you doing on here arguing with people all day? Right? Like, literally every day. He was nonstop. And then all of a sudden, Superman came out. Didn't do that great. Peacemaker flop. That other animated show that he had flop. Nobody even knew it came out. Whatever. Everything that he did just was not working. And slowly but surely, he started tweeting a lot less. And then now it seems like he's gone completely dark since he got that short contract extension back in December, or whenever that was, November.
Yeah, it was December, yeah.
And we have not heard from him since. Or he's done a little bits here and there just to promote his projects, but he's definitely not on and not as confident as he used to be back then when he first got the job.
For sure. I mean, and like everyone's saying, Gunn, he is never shy trying to dispel something or debunk something, or have like one of his burners ask him a question and he answers himself to debunk something. Like Gunn has been doing that for 4 years now. Right. And now, right, he's very, very quiet about this contract situation, Paramount coming in, supposedly. I think that means something.
He hasn't addressed it at all. And we all know he's quick, like you said, Sil, to call people out when they are allegedly wrong about something. I mean, he's even commented under your posts before. So
yeah, he's coming at me. Yeah. I think a couple of times. And I'm gonna bring up when we get to Supergirl. I don't think Gunn came at me, but I think he sent his army after me. I'll talk about that.
The bots, although like his monkey bot.
He sent his army after me, and we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. But because Gunn, I think Gunn realizes if he comes at me directly, it's just going to make me money on Twitter at this point. So it's like, so he's just like, I don't even want to give this dude any shine, but he still blew up my post because his army came at me. I'll fill y'all in on my latest skirmish with the Gunners. We got CY here with the super chat. Again, he was on the panel earlier. He says, Superman in front of the sun from ZSJL with the caption, he has risen for tomorrow's post. So
that's the image I had in mind. Yep.
In the chat, what are y'all thinking? We know the fact, again, as Snyder fans, we know it's layers every time Zach posts. So we know something's coming Sunday. We don't have to explain that too much to Snyder fans. So what will he actually show? I do like that idea, Jules, having charging up the sun.
Yeah.
After his resurrection.
I hope it's the artwork or the storyboard artwork and not just a still from the film, because I could just imagine how beautiful that artwork must look.
That's a dope idea because we got this concept art right here again. Yep. Batman Lane, and man, I always go back to that opening night with BVS. Like it was so intriguing. The dialogue of BVS was intriguing. The first 2 acts of the film, I was locked in.
It was too mature for some people.
It was very mature. It was a very adult approach. And really, one crescendo in the film, one high point in the film was when it was at Lex party. It was just Clark and Bruce talking. And that was a powerful scene.
It really was.
You know what I'm saying? And
like you felt the tension.
Yeah, it was perfect. And just like Ben was just like perfectly looking like Bruce Wayne from the animated series, like in that scene. Like, I love that scene. But then Zach goes to the third act and he's like, I'm gonna turn your brain up to like 20
Oh my god! As
Like,
soon as you heard those drums beating, oh my god, that was
insane.
Wonder Woman's entrance has to be the
Oh my
greatest
goodness.
entrance, probably like
I
screw
think
like
it's the greatest.
of all time, like in movie history. It's not even just superhero movies. It was just absolute perfection from the music to the cinematography to like everything about it, like the color palette. It was just
The
awe inspiring.
only thing I would say, if people want to argue like another CBM moment, the end game portal moment was pretty special. That
It was not that.
culmination.
It was nowhere near.
I'm just saying,
It
just
didn't
just
touch it.
just
No.
just devil's
It was a
advocate, like,
cool moment, but it
yeah.
wasn't as epic as like Wonder Woman. Because again, just like all of your senses were tingling when Wonder Woman came out. Like they hit everything. The portal
Well,
thing was just like, oh yeah, cool, we got this, and this bunch of portals.
that's a nice moment.
It was a feel good moment. Whereas Wonder Woman was like, oh shit, like this shit just hit the fan.
Well,
We're about
because
to witness the spectacle.
when it happened, like, okay, like third act again, you got with the that Congress building explodes, right? And so Bruce gets that letter from Lex, you let your family die, right? Batman versus Superman happens right there. The fight happens. You get the Dark Knight Returns armor. Like, you're like, okay, let's go. Like, we were waiting this whole movie for this fight.
Right.
That
And the
goes
second act
down.
was kind of slow. So like when things really picked up in the third act, it really like got your blood pumping.
Yeah, and so that happens. That fight happens. Then you have the Martha moment, which again, I like that concept. Their moms both named Martha, and you're ready to go. You're like, okay, this third act is getting crazy. Warehouse scene, crazy. He saves Martha, insane. Then you get Doomsday.
Like, yeah, it was like nonstop.
It's like, what are you doing, Zach? Like, what are you doing to my brain, bro? And then you're just thinking, okay, Doomsday got the jump on Batman. Like, is he about to vaporize Batman? And that's when Wonder Woman jumps in.
Yeah.
And the music comes in. I'm like, this is insane.
And then the great, like, oh, is she with you? Like, no, I thought she was with you line. Like, oh. Like, it was perfect.
Perfect moment. So after all that, you get to this imagery, this concept art after the death of Superman, and you just have like just this biblical moment. You got it instantly when Superman died and you let him down. If you pay attention to art and things like that and culture and history. And I'm just like, man, like Zach is like clowning on this film, bro. And so he just stamps it home. So I'm saying all this to say, I do agree with your concept art idea for Sunday. Give us the original concept art of Superman going up with the black suit, charging up in the sun. He's risen. That'd be wonderful.
Let's hope we get it. That would be great.
That'd be great stuff right there. Appreciate you, CY, again, for your continued support. And we'll do the epic drop. Good stuff. Good stuff. In the chat, we're as far as in the backstage, we're going to get someone up in just a minute here. Uzaru, in just a minute here. Just have your camera ready. We'll pop you in here in just a second to get your thoughts on Good Friday and Restore or whatever you want to kind of chime in with. But let me just catch up with the chat real quick, then we'll get you on in just a second. Just wanted to give you a heads up. Literally my favorite shot in the film. That's why I did it, CYC. We're connected. We know what you like, man. That's why I did the drop. And this is a good reminder. Smash the like. Make sure you subscribe. We're about to continue with the topics, and let's get Uzaru on the panel here. As soon as this thing drops, you'll be on the screen here. Snyderverse Rises will be a great drop for Sunday. So, speaking of all things, again, with this WB Paramount Saudis DC connection, Uzaru, what's good with you, man? I see you down there.
What's good? Yeah. Can you see me?
Yes, we can see you. Maybe your camera's probably okay. Yeah, but it's all good. First off, welcome to the panel. Never had you on the panel before.
I love the name.
New year.
What's your thoughts with everything, man?
Well, yeah. What I love about Kevin Smith, what he hinted at about Snyderverse returning. Kevin Smith, he's not like a random YouTuber. He's not like an ex-poster or anything. This guy's like very deep in the scoop of like Hollywood comic media.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows his name in that. So like, I don't understand all these people who are knocking his rumors down when like he's in the know. He's very very good friends with everyone and like who we know, even Gunn. He's friends with Gunn, Affleck, Zack Snyder and everything. So I don't understand why people don't take his word as like maybe there is something to this. It's pretty obvious to me that oh yeah, if Kevin Smith's saying this, maybe we should think about maybe the Snyderverse is coming back. Hopefully, because I'm a Snyder fan.
For sure. So
yeah,
people, you got the counter intelligence out there, the anti saying like, oh
yeah, Zarya's in Dragon Ball.
Snyder fans are reaching again and things like that. We're just going off like you just said. We're going off what Kevin Smith is saying.
Information. We're going off of information, but not just from him too. We get these hints from Zack Snyder all the time. Ever since he joined Instagram, which was like around the same time that there was conversations of Gunn's universe sort of not going the way that people think it's going. So even that was pretty cryptic in itself.
Yeah.
And I love seeing it. I love seeing it.
What did you think of you mentioned Zack Snyder's IG activity since last fall, and he really went hard for the ZSJL anniversary. Like, was that giving you any hints that hey, Zack?
Well, everybody knows the 214 thing. So I mean that's pretty obvious. And he did that. Was it like 6 months before it dropped? Yeah. So I mean, in my opinion, I don't want to reach, but I just love the hope. I love the hope.
But Zack is Zack giving us that, and I think we know Zack knows his fandom, right? So the fact that he started an Instagram account and timed it so his 214th post was the 5th anniversary of ZSJL, I can only take that one way, man.
And they say this man can't write. That's a story in itself. Make it a documentary. Come on.
For sure.
But like, what do I think about the posts? I love how controversial they've been in the DCU community, because they get really rabid when it comes to talk about the Snyderverse in general. Like, not even just talking about the restore, like the movement. Just any talk about the Snyderverse makes them see red. And I love it.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that this makes them nervous?
Because they have this idea that their version of Superman is the only sole property that needs to be on film. And that's completely wrong mentality, because Superman has had multiple variations in the comics.
Yeah. I think like you were saying, Jules, that maybe they do feel threatened, like they want Zack to be this Elseworlds thing, but I mean Zack just may be the main thing with DC, Jules.
That's the main universe. That's the main universe to the general audience. Again, when Superman first came out, the first thing the normies were asking, where's Henry? They want Henry. Henry's their Superman. You still saw a bunch of pictures everywhere and people posting GIFs of Henry as Superman. So yeah, they're in denial. I mean, I don't know what else to say without pissing people off, but it is what it is.
Too late. That's right. But so let's get your thoughts, Uzaru, on this question before we transition. This comment, I should say. My Superman says he agrees as far as the portal scene in Endgame. Me and Jules just had a disagreement. I was saying, obviously, the Wonder Woman entrance is the greatest CBM moment I felt in theaters, but I just argue Endgame may be a close second or arguably as great. What do you think, Uzaru?
In just comic book movies?
Yeah, as far as CBM, yeah.
Damn, that's a lot. I mean, obviously, Endgame is just incredibly iconic because of the build-up of years over the phases, and that's a very, very hard one to top. And it's crazy how ZSJL, the Flash reversing time, can sort of rival that.
That's
but obviously
Oscar
I don't
moment.
feel like it has the same weight, but it's definitely up there.
Between the two, obviously, we love the Oscar-winning Flash moment. I still put Wonder Woman over that Wonder Woman entrance.
Yeah, and I will say that Batman versus Superman was able to accomplish with that one scene what it took Marvel a decade to accomplish with that portal scene.
Actually, you're right. That Wonder Woman scene, it's so small, but it's so impactful. like just that, doof, and then
Yeah. Like I said, like
it's
all
so
of your
good.
senses were stimulated at that moment.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
because
perked
like
up.
Flash had a whole sequence, whereas that entrance was so quick, but you understood who that was. You understood, like you felt the power, and I love that.
It's great movie making too, because like literally, you got Batman, he's crashing, he's like, oh shit, like, and it just out of nowhere, Wonder Woman, it's like,
Yeah,
bro,
and the music plays.
yeah, it's like, oh my goodness.
I mean, honestly,
and
Wonder
we
Woman probably
knew
has
she
the
was
best
coming
theme.
in. Yes,
We knew she was
did.
coming. We didn't know when.
Right.
Yeah, we knew she was coming in, but it still felt like, whoa, she's here. Everyone thought it was Superman.
Right. That was just a great moment. Yeah, it's a great moment overall, man. So for sure. I think we agree at least on that. Uzari, final thoughts before we rotate here?
I mean, I knew Gunverse was like cooked when the reaction of the first Superman image dropped. It was so controversial. Like people didn't. It was tilting to people hated it more than people liked it. Remember when he was sitting down putting his boots on when that first image dropped?
Oh yeah,
it was looking like nobody was rocking with the DCU from then.
People were complaining that it looked like AI.
Yep, that was the birth of the gun glazers. That was they just started attacking everybody who was critiquing legit critiques.
It was such an anticlimactic first picture. I remember that. I was just like, that's it. Like, and
I mean,
I'm
if you
feeling
put it
this
up
with
against,
everything.
if you put that up against like our first look at Superman,
Henry Cavill's one,
Man of Steel, in front of that vault, like it
was iconic.
Yeah, it would. People still replicate it till this day in art.
That's why that was it. Absolute Superman artist who just did a rendition of it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, could I say one more thing?
Go ahead, sir.
Snyderverse is a film media, not a comic book media. These are two different things. You can't critique it like a comic book because it's a film. That's what people need to understand as well.
But also going back to what you said earlier, like there's so many different iterations in these comic books. You can't point at one and be like, oh, that's a comic book movie. Like, what does that even mean? Because there's so many different genres within comics that you can't just be like, oh, you can't assume that campy and colorful is comics because we're not in the 50s and 60s when that was a thing. Like comics have evolved so much more since then.
And there's a reason it was more successful than, the Gunverse.
Hey, we just go by results here. So definitely appreciate you.
Thanks, Uzaru.
Coming
Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, for sure. We'll probably do this like once or so a month. So, again,
I mean, it's like 3 a.m. in Australia. So I don't.
Oh, damn. Thanks for staying up.
Representing, very dedicated. We've got more to talk about. So as long as you're awake, stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll see. Bye.
Take care, man. Thank you. All right. Good stuff. Good comments so far. Again, if there's people that's saying, hey, I'm not looking forward to this Paramount thing, you're all welcome to join the panel as well and give your thoughts. We can have an echo chamber. That's cool too, but we're good with other opinions as well too. So with that, very interesting. Again, Good Friday. Now we're waiting for something interesting tomorrow from Zack Snyder. Right. So let's jump ahead here to get to this anti-Paramount propaganda, Jules. I'm just seeing, everyone had their favorites with this Warner Brothers sale. Me and you covered it pretty much the whole step of the way when it looked like Netflix was going to come up with it. And then Paramount, we were still saying like, we wish Paramount would have got it, but if Netflix is going to get it, we just hope the best. Just good luck. So then things have kind of flipped where, it looked like Netflix was going to get it, right?
Hold up, stop, wait, reverse the tape.
It was Paramount. Paramount came in and stole it from Netflix. Netflix bowed out. They lost. They lost the bid. It's okay. And I thought we was done talking about Netflix, but it's been this continued rhetoric saying they become anti-Paramount. And it's a little weird to see that type of energy.
It's really stupid and a waste of energy, honestly, because this is happening. Get with the program. If not, then hop off, go jump into something else. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
We want the best for Zack Snyder, and if Netflix, and I don't mind saying this every week, but If Netflix was actually pushing Zack Snyder projects now, I would be more positive about Netflix right now. And since they're not, and since they lost the bid, this is kind of what sums up our view of Netflix and the influencers on this show.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. Sir, I said good day.
It's over. Netflix, okay?
That's literally how I feel every time we talk about these Netflix idiots. It's just like, bro, come on. It's done.
It's a wrap, okay? It's over. So that's just where we're at. But it's still this anti-sentiment out there. Now I'm seeing people, they're taking these bad headlines and trying to say, oh, is this a negative for Paramount? Here's an example here. And we probably saw this one before, but they retweeted it today. CBR.
Oh my God, this rage bait nonsense.
This is total rage bait. Saying, well, Paramount, they promised 30 theatrical releases per year. Looking at the slate next year, Jules, they may be lying. Maybe they can't do 30 films. What do you think?
Oh my God, they need to make 30 films in like 3 months in order to hit this goal for 2027 as soon as the deal closes. Get real, CBR. Like, you guys are just being complete like rage baiters right now, looking for engagement. This is completely disingenuous because you know for a fact that they have no control over the 2027 slate at this particular moment. They have to literally get through the deal, get it done, close it, and then start greenlighting projects, which then takes 2 years on average to complete.
I'm just saying this is very silly. And again, it's rage bait. They know what they're doing, getting people. Because again, if you have that anti-sentiment for whatever reason, if you're mad that David Ellison's daddy is cool with Trump, whatever, it's David Ellison that's running the company. So we don't have to keep bringing that up. But they had some horse in the race. They don't want Paramount to win, but you don't have to make up stuff. You don't have to do these fake stories. That's the sad thing. And then you have gullible people who, let's say they wanted Netflix, then they retweet this. Oh, Paramount's in trouble, and y'all just look like idiots. Again, you lost.
Sir, I said good day.
It's over, okay? It's over. So that's
take the L gracefully.
just take that. And that's what I was saying last week. People just don't know how to lose. That's just really what it is. Like,
I don't know. Maybe they were part of that participation trophy generation when they get tantrum if they're not told that they did a good job.
So on top of this, and as I said, I'm going to start bringing up, and these just for teaching moments on the Saturday weekly show. Is there sentiments out there that I want to address? Now, it could be some people that I'm mutuals with. I may bring you up on the big screen, not to embarrass you, but just to be like, hey, let's kind of learn from this post. So what do I mean? So
teaching moment.
We have this user here, and again, it's not about taking stuff personally. I don't mind if people do. We can have a nice conversation if you take this personally. But this is not to. I probably should have blocked their name out, but I'm sorry in advance. But they say it's the Deadline article. They were saying, theater owners take their battle over Paramount WBD merger to attorneys, general associations, Main Street America that will suffer the most. Now, without reading this article, people's like, oh, theaters are against Paramount now? And that's probably why this person put this comment, right? But if you actually look at the article, it's just one theater group of many that's raising the concerns. And what they're concerned with, Jules, just to save everyone a click, they just want to make sure David Ellison follows through with 30 films a year. That's their concern. I don't think that's a bad concern. Now, with knowing that with the article, then this person says, wait, I thought this is what theater owners wanted, hence why they were so against Netflix getting it. Me and you covered this very directly, Jules, where theater owners were against Netflix because it would have killed the theatrical window. Collectively, they were against this as far as overall. So that has not changed. And then that's a different argument. This article is again saying They just want to make sure Ellison follows through with 30 films a year. So this is, again, rage bait, clickbait, and just quite honestly, some people who they were against Paramount the whole time, they're looking at every headline saying, is this trouble with Paramount? And I'm just trying to remind people, don't fall for these headlines overall. If there's issues with it, me and Jules have been pretty open. Not saying we got the pom-poms out for Paramount. We're just saying this is the best option. And right now, everything's checking out with what they're doing, Jules, with this overall. So
right, and that's really what we're here to talk about. We want to see the Snyderverse restored. We want to see quality back into cinemas, more mature content, I guess, also based on what we've just been talking about for the past hour. But yeah, everybody knows that all these accounts, they just want to do rage bait, and they take one particular line from an article and they twist the headline to make it seem like something negative because that's what's going to get them the most clicks.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about. And again, it's no problem with feeling, hey, maybe you really wanted Netflix to win this. And we talked about different reasons for that, but I'm just saying in general now, it's not about just going at the Netflix collective people. Y'all just, again, it's very clear. It's over. What y'all was doing.
I said good day.
We don't have to keep talking about the Netflix
Beating
collective.
a dead horse.
But just people in general, if you were a fan of the Netflix angle, we just want to educate people saying, hey, obviously they feel Paramount will pass this deal. They think by this fall, I say early next year. A few states, Jules, like California, they're trying to bring up that they will lose jobs, the industry will lose jobs. And Ellison's going directly at them saying, hey, this is my plan to keep jobs, right? So they're checking, they're checking all their sides with this.
They knew what arguments were going to come their way, and they made sure to tackle them head on, which is great because they actually have a plan, which I don't think when Discovery bought Warner Brothers, I don't think they necessarily had a plan. Their plan was just, all right, let's just try to flip this thing in a couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So that's just where we're at. And again, I love the different opinions out there. It just, when I come across obvious rage bait and I see people, the reason why I brought that other person up, because they kind of fell for the rage bait. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, we don't have to fall for that. If there's a real issue with Paramount, we'll see this process go forward. And if there's a real red flag, we got no problem covering that. But again, at the end of the day, we're trying to go with the option that's best to restore the Snyderverse. That's what we're talking about. If it's Paramount, if it was going to be Netflix, we don't have we're not paid shields for either of these companies. We just want the movies, man. That's all.
What's best for the fans.
Exactly. Overall. And Kevin Smith says he thinks Paramount will restore the Snyderverse. So
yep.
Just saying. I see him say it about Netflix a couple months ago. I'm just saying. So anyway. Neil Sevens here with Super Chat says, why are the Netflix groupies? That's his words now. I'm not trying to make fun of Netflix. Well, I am kind of. He says, why are they so against Zach potentially making films at Paramount? Now, this is a real question. I think we do
Great
have
question.
to,
yeah.
That we do have to kind of stew on, because
do we have to?
Well, it's a Super Chat, so we have to. But if it's about Zach, Jules, I don't care who does it, is my stance. If, again, Paramount's having the best chance right now, I think all Snyder fans should be like, hey, let's see what they do, right?
Yeah, I don't care if it's a studio in Russia. If they are restoring the Snyderverse, then hey, all power to them. Yes, I will applaud you. That's all I want. That's all I care about. These people that are still stuck on this Netflix bandwagon, the groupies, as Neo's calling them, again, they just didn't have genuine intentions when they were rooting for Netflix, right? They thought they were going to become some kind of online influencer over it and try to get some kind of online fame, which I don't understand why. The market is extremely saturated. It takes a lot to even get to that level. But again, just nerds trying to become something they're not. I don't even know.
Yeah, hey,
it's embarrassing. They're embarrassing themselves.
Like last week, I touched on like every possible option why someone would be going this hard for Netflix. It's personal reasons for them. And like you said, just dealing with the general people now, trying to say, oh, well, Paramount can't do this, so maybe Netflix. I'm going to start talking more about just, those people saying, again, don't fall for it. Obviously, that Netflix collective, they had their personal reasons. If they're still rocking with that, I don't know what to tell you. If the Snyderverse is restored by Paramount, it'd be pretty sad. So-called Zack Snyder fans wouldn't be happy.
Right.
Paramount
Like
does
you're
it.
still going to be upset about it when we literally have the movies in IMAX. You're going to still be like, oh, well, Netflix would have done this. Like, get real. Get out.
Yeah. That's just kind of wild. And that's where we're at, but we want to address that, and we'll continue to bring up teaching moments when necessary with this. So final, I'll give you a drop on this, Neo Sevens. Just again, final word with this Netflix situation.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. Sir, I said good day.
He was hype, bro. I said good day. Appreciate you.
It was pissed.
Neo Sevens. Oh, we got another one here. Isn't Paramount restoring Rush Hour franchise?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't they do the same for Snyderverse? And again, just like
they're restoring a
Transformers
lot
and Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, exactly. Michael Bay is back.
I mean, that's the energy of Paramount. It seems like they're saying, "Oh, what worked before, right? Let's do it again."
Right, and nothing else has been working. We haven't gotten a real the Rush Hour is probably the best buddy cop movie we've had in our generation. I haven't seen one that's been better. I have no desire to see any other ones because they're usually pretty boring. And then Transformers has been a flop after flop, or just didn't live up to expectations after Bay had left. And now we're kind of seeing the same thing with the DC film universe. I don't want to say the DCU because that has connotations. But so yeah, I mean, why not? Right? Just like Neil.
I mean, you're seeing the tendency of this company coming in, Paramount. They're bringing back, again, things that worked before, bringing back Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, Michael Bay. So, I mean, bring back Zack Snyder. It just makes sense.
Can't dismiss it. Now, if we get a real live action Ninja Turtles movie, that would be cool.
Yeah, because they want to do something big with Ninja Turtles, revitalize that IP. We got an English major here. But with that, so again, I only can take it that they're gonna. Well, we know David Ellison is going to take every IP pretty seriously, especially big events. You can't get any bigger than as far as the IPs they own. You can't get any bigger than DC, Transformers. So he's gonna. I just think we got a good chance, y'all. And then even the side note on that is the Saudis' involvement as well. So I like our chances, y'all. I really do. That is what it is. Steven Smith talking. Y'all crazy in the chat. But appreciate you, Neo Sevens. And we're in the month of April. So this is the month of the Michael Jackson movie. You got to drop. One of those Michael Jackson drops, I tell you. Can't wait to the Michael Jackson movie coming out in 3 weeks. So we'll be checking that out. Zack Snyder's Last Ronin. And yeah, that was another thing. I should have screenshot when I saw people talk about this on Twitter. The Last Ronin is still going to happen. That's that dystopian dark future of the Ninja Turtles. They just want to, again, Ellison wants to get his main line in place first, the cinematic universe of the Ninja Turtles, and then do those future stories later. So that project is not dead. I was told the creators behind Last Ronin, they still are expecting to do their project. It just has been kind of pushed aside to, again, reboot the current TMNT.
Right. And I just kind of want to add to this. It's all about the buildup, right? So we haven't had a universal TMNT film that everyone loves and adores like we did when we were growing up in the 90s, right? We've had reboot after reboot after reboot. You can't just all of a sudden drop a Last Ronin movie and expect the general audience who knows nothing about the storyline to fall in love with it or to feel anything about it. So that's probably why they decided to push this to the side for right now and do a proper build up to it. Actually make people fall in love with the Turtles again, because they're not mainstream anymore besides backpacks and lunchboxes. So
yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, build up the universe. Let people find out who is Mikey and Raphael and the rest of them, right? There's so much to it that they can still do. Let's not jump to the Last Ronin. when that's like
Right.
the end of the story.
Yeah, I mean that's the end, and that's kind of a reboot. Like they introduced new turtles at the end of that run. So you know that'll be a great story to see. But you made a good point. Ninja Turtles ain't as popular as it used to be with us
No.
growing up. As far as millennials, I grew up watching
Right.
Secret of the Ooze and really the original. I like the original better than all of them.
I
all
had the
those
tape
films.
of TMNT on Broadway, I think it was, and I used to watch it all the time.
Crazy we was for these Ninja Turtles, man. Like
Yeah.
and I got into their comics after that, and the comics were more brutal actually than the
Yeah.
fun-loving pizza
Of
people
course. Yeah.
that we saw. So I think David Ellison. We see his approach with these IPs. He's saying this is a well we can kind of tap better
Yeah.
and get the most out of it. So
Get all the money from it. You don't want to do a one and done. Like, this is about building that proper universe. And this TMNT should be a franchise that should have multiple films. You can't just do one movie and be like, all right, we did it. Now let's reboot it again.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's spread out the cinematic universe, spinoffs, TV shows. They want to do all this connected. Again, Transformers, the same thing. Event films, spinoffs, series. So what you think David Ellison's going to do with DC, y'all? I'm just saying.
It's also about capturing the imagination of the youth today, not just the millennials that they grew up with. Like, millennials now, they have kids. They want something that can tap into all the generations, where like the millennials be like, oh yeah, I grew up with that. Oh, my kid is interested in it. Maybe we can bond over this, thing that we're both interested in together, and we're going to go to the theaters and watch it, right? Like that's the key here. Not just let's just tie it back into something from like the 90s or the 2000s. Like, no, this is supposed to be multi-generational, and that's how you really get the best bang for your buck. So I know it sucks, but just have some patience. You should be eating soon if they do this right.
Yeah, I think, and I like their chances of doing this right overall. Let's get one more person on the panel here. Let's see Silos in the back here. Let's jump you up here and get your thoughts on these current topics and overall. Silos, this is the Wednesday crew is back.
Los.
What's up? What's up? Long time. We are officially back.
We're back.
And you've been waiting for this moment.
Oh man. Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
That was low key cap right there. But definitely people remember the Wednesday crew, but also too, me and Silos, we're doing our night views Sunday nights, 10 p.m. We got a new anthem song from Silos. So I'm looking forward to the sports stuff, man, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow night. But right now, we're talking this DC Snyderverse. Your boy James Gunn. I'm just playing. What's your thoughts so far, and this whole anti-Paramount thing as well? Whatever you want to touch on, man. What you think?
Look, man, I just had to say I had to take notes. I had to take notes.
Oh damn, we got a list. We got a list.
Listen. All right. So look, first of all, this whole anti-Paramount thing. This is how I'm gonna open my statement, right? All of a sudden, I'm seeing. I think I was under one of your threads. All of a sudden now we're seeing that Pam and Mike were endorsing Gunn to be the head of DC. Like when
I've never seen that.
When was that? Wasn't Pam and Mike kicked out of the James Gunn rooms at one point? Like,
yeah, they were dismissed from DC Talks by Zaslav.
Like how, when, where, like what book, Bible were they reading? What's going on? I don't understand where that came from, right? I'm gonna be jumping around a little bit here. So like the whole they're never gonna bring back Zach and all this. First of all, everything he's been posting, we've been saying this, and I said it a couple times on your stream. You guys have said it. Zach, there's a reason why Zach does what he does, and he's not gonna just be doing this. Yes, he's showing love of his past projects and all that. That is just an inkling of some of the things he's doing. He is letting us know to keep fighting, to keep pushing, to keep wanting the Snyderverse, because it's there, it's happening. And that honestly, I know many people cannot say it. I'm saying it. I believe it's going to happen. I see the future. I know it's going to happen. Right? And here's my thing about the whole Paramount thing, right? And I'm gonna just set this up here because I keep looking to the side, right? This whole Paramount thing, right? The one reason why we should all be excited about this, right? It took a company like Disney, right, to own Marvel, to make all these, comebacks of certain heroes. One in particular that we've been talking about, Daredevil. They vamped, brought him back to life essentially. His story, and not only that, the Defenders, bringing them back, right? Now Paramount, some may not agree with me on this, but I see them as a company, money wise, who is as resourceful as Disney. So you mentioned they're bringing back Rush Hour, they're bringing back Transformers. The amount of money that they have, they've already said they want to pump money. They want to make DC films an event again. They don't want to just make it, oh, these are cool stories. And I know many of people are going to say, oh, but weren't you a fan of Gunn's Superman film? I enjoyed it for what it was.
Someone was typing it as you said it.
Like, yeah, I felt, my hair stood up. I felt it, you know? But here's my thing about that, right? I enjoyed it. Mainly, I enjoyed it because it was so different from Zach, right? Because I didn't want I didn't want him to do what Zach did. And now last night I was on the Chop Shop with Vega, and we talked about the whole Good Friday post and stuff like that. One thing that was solid throughout everything we talked about, because we broke down Man of Steel, we're gonna break down BVS, and then Zack Snyder Justice League, how it all ties into the, word of Christ and all that story, so like how it has this linear connection. But one thing we talked about when we talked about Superman was how throughout the years, whether it's Reeves, whether it's Tyler Hoechlin, whether it's Smallville, Superman has that stance of hope, of like, there's a stature when you're doing a Superman film, you need to touch on these morals. I feel like with Gunn, the reason why, for one, so many did not like it was because he literally got that and he flipped it upside down. And he told it as a whole different story, not the Messiah story, not all that. He really did it differently, which at the time, that is why I was okay with it, because it was something different. But it's not gonna, it doesn't work with these type of characters. What he was trying to do is what I'm getting at with that. Now, my last statement here, so I know I'm all over the place. I believe, I don't know if you mentioned it or on your thing, I really do think that Gunn, he will stay in DC as some capacity, but the reason why I think they haven't extended his thing is because I don't think it's going to be with film. I do think he's going to make a transition, and they're going to allow him to continue in the comic book verse, while we have Zach doing the event films, the big stuff. Maybe you have Gunn do a series here and there that's not connected, just his own one-off series. But I do think he would have his own run in the whole comic book verse because of, one thing I can admit from him, his story, comic book stuff, and I do think he has a niche on that. He has a lane, just like certain people need to stay in their lane. The Netflix people.
Let's say a good day.
They need to stay there. I believe that's where Gunn needs to do. He needs to stay in that comic book. If you want to go wacky and crazy, keep it in the book.
So you're saying James Gunn, you're saying his DCU, you want to see it in a comic book form, or animated even, instead of live action. The Guzzles not going to like that, Carlos. They're not there. They're not going to like that.
look. At this point, and here's another thing I said, right? Because the whole moving the goalposts of these people, right? If you're believing the hoopla and all this stuff, at this point, you want to believe the filth, live in the dust. That's my new slogan for them. All right, live in the dust, man. Because, honestly, and I told you this before we did our sports show last week. At this point, the SIL Nation and all different platforms should be like how Feige does his rundown of movies of what's to come, of literally how Paramount and the whole Netflix bidding deal has started from beginning to end. You and Jules, shout out to both of y'all doing this show. It's been entertainment every weekend. Jules, never changed. Don't apologize.
Thanks
to anybody. If they don't like it, again, live in the dust. Because it's y'all have been real, following the map, the pattern. It's like, yo, That's all I gotta say on that.
Hey, we're keeping the watch on it, man. So appreciate you, Carlos, for sure. And I'll get at you tomorrow for night views. We're back Sunday evenings. Take that, Shannon Sharp. No, but take care, bro. We'll be in touch.
Thanks, Los.
Carlos, and we'll give him the applause. Yeah, I tell you.
Wednesday, actually, I would like to jump on what thing Carlos said. I wish I said it when he was still on. But it's kind of funny how he brings up how the gun guzzlers, as you call them, they would not be happy with the universe continuing in either animated or comic book form, because they feel like it's beneath them. However, they were very much ready to let the Snyderverse live in those particular mediums and expect us to be happy with it and settle for that. So keep that same energy.
Exactly. It's like, hey, people, I get comments like this all the time from people. They're like, oh, maybe the Snyderverse shouldn't continue or at least not live action. But you can get a comic or an animated,
right?
It's like I said, maybe Gunn's gonna be regulated to that because
I mean, visually, it's not very stimulating. It's not stimulating either anyway. And thanks, Dave.
I'll be real. Like, animated could be an angle only because though his Creature Commandos, it didn't do great viewership wise.
I don't think
he may not have that angle.
And I will have to disagree with you, Lo. Sorry. I don't see him doing any comics or DC or animated stuff for DC. Just because I feel like he thinks it's beneath him. It's not that much money in those two mediums as there are in film. He'll just go over to the MCU and start cranking out stuff with Feige again and really make the big bucks and fix his resume, because right now it's not looking too good. These past 4 years have been a detriment on his career.
I mean, that's the great segue, because we're talking about the Supergirl about to come out here, and this past year, I've been, looking forward to this Craig Gillespie film. I thought he would do something pretty interesting with the character. I still think the film is going to be somewhat interesting. But seeing the trailers, seeing I don't want to say it's not bad. It's part like low interest. It's part because you obviously got some trolls that the people are like they were going to hate whatever this film was going to be like. Yeah. If people are going to be honest with themselves, you was ready to crap on this film, and that's fine. That's fine. Everyone has their opinion.
Know what we were going to get. I'm not.
But seeing the trailer, seeing this first look, the way they're marketing it, feels a little desperation because we heard about these test screenings and how it was mixed. It was like now they're saying it's up to 8 test screens now.
Crazy
for this film, and in that world of test screenings, you usually only need up to 3 to figure out the film you want to make. If whatever you want to adjust with that. I think BVS only had 1 test screening, right? So Supergirl, I think Superman 2025, it was on the high end. I think that was over 6, I believe, for James Gunn Superman. Supergirl is going to be more. That's not a lot of confidence. And all of a sudden they let's get this trailer out there. Everything's fine. And it just doesn't feel like everything's fine with this film. And that's for those that were cheering for this film, you can't feel too comfortable. And then some of these quotes, Millie Alcock saying, "Oh, they're just going to hate me because I'm a woman." It's like, what? Like, what does that speak to you, Jules? Just using this, there's feminists, and then there's like this radical.
The radical movement. I can't even call it feminism because a true feminist would understand that there's a balance to everything, right? Because that's what women are. The matriarchy is all about, maintaining that balance. You can't have proper femininity without masculinity. We're yin and yang, no matter how you want to look at it. So I really hate this rhetoric. They're like, oh, it's a woman-led film or it's a person of color-led film, so it's gonna people are not gonna watch it for just those reasons because they're racist or sexist or whatever it is. Man, that's just some pity BS. Like if you can't say that your movie, if you can't be proud of your movie, then that's what it is. Don't blame it on these outside sources. Because if the movie is going to be good, it'll speak for itself. People wrote off Michael B. Jordan's vampire movie Sinners because they were like, oh, it's just a DEI movie, and then look at it. It ended up winning Oscars, and it's one of the best movies we've had in the past few years, right? So, and this all started with, unfortunately, during the Me Too movement. The radical people took that movement and propagandized it to what now we have all this, what they call wokeism or whatever, right? They want to blame everything on some kind of ist, right? Sex or ism, some sexism, racism, whatever. That's not the case here. And Millie's not doing herself any favors at all. If this movie bombs, it's because, again, bad timing, and the movie just wasn't good enough.
Yeah, and we keep talking about the placement of this film. This isn't fair. I don't know, how didn't they think this through, dropping this film, which has everything against it, meaning the general audience don't really know Kara Zor-El, right? Supergirl.
Right. They know
really
a Supergirl exists, but they don't know anything about her.
Right. So you're plopping this in the summer. That's one thing. Again, Toy Story 5, the second week's going to destroy Supergirl. Minions first week, July 4th. Why put this before July 4th week? That's just weird placement overall. Like
people are out and about.
Get cream pie. Pretty much in the comments there, they'll cloud it. That's pretty much what I think is going to happen with this film. Like it's not going to win 1 week in the box office. It's going to have to, and this is, I'm talking about, just to even get over 300 million at least, this film is going to have to have a perfect critical score, perfect audience score, the best word of mouth ever. I don't think it's going to get all that, but that's the formula for it to at least drag out and get a little money. I think this film is just buried. The summer's going to bury it, and it's a shame. It's a shame. For me personally, it may not be a shame for a lot of people, but it's a shame.
I mean, no, it is a shame because I would hate to see Supergirl treated in such a manner when she, as a character, deserves so much more respect. But again, that's just what we've been getting from the Gunverse. It's just bad decision after bad decision, one way or another.
Yeah, that's just where it's at, man. And so with this film and the expectations, they dropped this little featurette. And this is how they did Superman 2025. They came out with that goofy crypto trailer where he's screaming, and then they came out with this in-depth behind the scenes, which actually looked better. But I was like, why didn't you lead with some more epic vibe? Because in that, you saw the trailer, right?
I haven't actually seen the full trailer, but just to answer your question, they don't know what real epic is. So why are you going to expect them to have something extremely epic and crazy cinema quality when they don't even know what that means? Like, their cinematography has been horrible these past couple movies. Like, there's nothing beautiful that we've seen. There's nothing that's like, oh my God, just hold on that still real quick. Like, let me just take it in. Like, we haven't had any of those moments.
I mean, it's like the trailer itself, I thought it was better than the first one. Right, because the first trailer, me and you talked about it in real time, and we were just like, it's missing something.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but they literally just replicated an exact scene that was in Superman in this movie when she was saving the girls. Same exact thing happened with Superman saving, the little same shot for shot. Like, I can't even.
I mean, hey, you got to go with what works, though. I don't blame it on copying stuff, but it's like that this new trailer, I thought actually had better shots, but then it had a typical James Gunn, needle drop music, and I'm just like, no, I don't want this to feel like a James Gunn movie. And that's all the feel in this film, is that James Gunn's influence. And I don't think this film needed that, because what was low-key sold me on the potential of this DCU was that, okay, Gunn's going to do his goofy stuff, right? But you're going to have other writers and directors to do their vision. And we're seeing, just from that first trailer, him peeing on Superman's newspaper. Yeah. And then this new trailer, the typical music Gunn uses. I'm like, okay, this is all Gunnified. Like, where's the director? You're talking to James Gunn. Like, can we talk to the director of this film? Like, why? I
haven't even seen the director in anything, in any kind of promotional material. And just like what you said, like, this is exactly what he did with Superman. Like, in every promotional material or whatever, like, you never just saw Corn Sweat or whoever the girl, Rachel Brosnahan, I think she played Lois. I don't even know if you remember. I just remember Gunn being in all the promotional stuff. Like anytime they had like some kind of tie-in with the brand, you saw James Gunn's face. James Gunn is the one talking. He's like the main person. Like he was more concerned with making himself a household name versus amplifying Corrin Sweat as Superman. And I think that came across as to everyone watching it and just, didn't leave a good taste in everyone's mouths. It's just from a marketing perspective. Like we're not here to see the director. We're here to see the character.
Yeah. What did you think? Okay, because you didn't see I don't have the full trailer, but they kind of shoved Superman in this.
Yeah, I did see that little clip. Yeah.
In his FaceTime, like, hey, Kara, I'm Clark.
When I saw this, I was like, again, like the entire Superman movie just looked washed out, right? Like people were surprised when they saw Millie Alcock in this movie because she looked so different from the Superman movie. Because again, the lighting just washed everything out. You didn't see any real features or detail or texture. And so I guess that's just what they're going for inside the Fortress of Solitude, just based on the look of the screen. But when I saw this, I was like, why does he look like someone